channel, Knocked and Tagged Outdoors. Today we're going to be going over setting up a saddle for a one stick climb and then taking it all the way to the top, showing you the whole process of imitation, pulling up our bow and stuff like that. I didn't bring a bow out here, but I'll raise a stick or something like that so you can see how the process works, get completely set up in the tree so you can get kind of a time frame of what it takes. Bear with me, this is my first time this year back in the saddle since last season. I was up in it a bunch, only used the one stick method all last year, so I got pretty comfortable with it there. So if there's a few hiccups, bear with me, it is the first time for this year. Couple quick things. This is Cruzr XC from Cruzr Saddles. I've loved it, and I've had a lot of other people try it, and they've went and bought some since then. Just the comfort of it, I've been able to do all day sits from sunrise to sunset without an issue. So a couple things really quick before I get into the saddle. Same thing on picking out a tree for a saddle hunt. This might be a little beginner, but maybe this will help some people. It's no different really than if you were trying to pick out a tree for a climbing stand. Hang-ons are a little different because you can kind of navigate some stuff, but really if you can get as straight a tree as possible, it's obviously going to help you just in that angle of hanging. If you're leaning a little bit one direction or not, it'll change it. Maybe not necessarily where you're hanging at that comfortable position, but if you go to the side to do a side shot, those angles would potentially mess with you then. You can get around it and you can deal with it, but maybe just not as comfortable as if you had a straighter tree. The other thing is size of tree. For me, this is probably the size of a volleyball or something. Typically I want to go from like that size, maybe just a hair bigger, just kind of big enough to hide my torso really well behind the tree, but a silhouette when a deer's coming up or something. This will work, and honestly a smaller tree makes it really easy to maneuver around for shots. Maybe doesn't hold your concealment as well, but if they're that close, might as well have them shot anyway. Yeah, so I'm set up right now as if I was doing an early season hunt. I know I'm in t-shirt, but that's just gonna have to be fine. I'm not wearing long sleeve camo out here to show you that. So this is the backpack I use for hunting. This is my saddle. This is set up just as if I'm walking into a tree. I mean, I have everything right now besides my bow in my hand and my calls. I didn't put those in the backpack. So everything else besides my bow, this is how I'm walking up to a tree. The other thing I guess I should talk about my one stick is the Ultimate One Stick from Eastern Woods Outdoors with the Ultimate One Stick platform. And I think I have a 3-step aider. This is a short little 12-inch stick, I believe. Really short, compact. As you can see, it just clips a nice little backpack. Very minimalist. And then, yeah, I just have this held together with a little bungee right here. And then it deploys. So I'll set that on the tree real quick to kind of show you that, and then I'll change some camera angles and we'll get to climbing here. So the first thing I do with this is I take this and I set it just past head height. It's really easy with these small trees working with this one stick because reaching around to set that cord makes it super simple. And then I just grab underneath here and set it. And then that is solid as a rock, not going anywhere. So with one stick, I do rappel down. So I have repelling line. I got that from knotandropesupply.com. In no way affiliated, but they do make great rope at decent prices, and it's all customized to your order, what you want, how many feet, they cut it for you. They can sew loops in it, whatever you need. So I'll throw this backpack back on because I typically do wear my backpack up. And I will, I'll tie off a stick here or something to simulate me tying off a bow with a bow strap at the end. But typically, also should be sponsored by Crown Royal. That would be great. I could use some cheap Crown Apple. But yeah, so I have a Delta Link right here. I did use a carabiner that was actually this carabiner I have right here. Let me grab that real quick. Don't use these to clip your rope around the tree, especially these twist link ones. Even if you have to pull it down and twist, I've been in a tree before where moving around in the tree, moving that rope has caused this to twist, and I've seen it start to open. So the day I seen that was the last day I used it. I switched to a Delta Link. Completely secure. Not gonna go anywhere. So I just toss this on the ground right here. Rope feeds out of it, as it would with anything else. And then I'm gonna do some things here that are not necessarily manufacturer recommended, but that's how I do them. So I guess use at your own risk. I'm not responsible if you fall out of a tree or anything like that. But yeah, that's just how I do it. It works for me. I'm not worried about me getting up to this point and falling 6 feet. That just doesn't really bother me. I'll wrap this thing around the tree and do all that once I get up a little bit higher. But the 6 foot, I'm not worried about that. The other thing I have here is the Petzl Grigri. It's not the Grigri Plus or anything like that. It's the $90 one you can get off Amazon. I just went and put some stealth strip on it to make it super quiet. As you can see, pretty damn silent. There's no rattle up there at all. I have stealth strip right underneath that mark there. So really simple. Follow the pictures on it. They make it dummy proof. Follow the pictures on it. Take your bridge here. Always go with name brand carabiners, and from now on I've always went with screw lock ones instead of the quick twist. Make sure that's set. Make sure it's facing towards you. You want to be able to watch that. If it's red, it's open, make sure that's set. Yeah, so I'm gonna throw this around my neck. I'm gonna adjust the camera. I'm gonna start climbing. You use this advice or technique at your own risk. No way my fault if you fall out of the tree. But to me, it's worth it. It minimizes a few more, saves a little bit of time, saves a little bit of noise, and that's just what I prefer. So that's how I'm doing it. So I'm gonna simulate this stick. Right here is my bow. All right, so this will be my bow on the ground. Hope you guys can see that. Make sure this thing's going. We're recording. All right, so this is here. Have that behind this. My first step into my aider. Double check, solid. Up, 1, 2, 3. Step and platform. And just like that, I'm already, my feet are about 7 feet in the air. You could use a lineman's belt or something for that move, I guess, if you wanted to be a little bit safer. My lineman's belt, it's a pretty rare situation that it comes out. It's just pretty much on my pack as a backup. The other thing, when you're doing this, keep your bridge pretty short, tight. Sorry. That'll just help make these climbs a little bit easier. All right, so now I'm suspended on my Grigri here. Good to go with that. Everything's all checked off. We're good to go. So now I'm gonna bring my one stick. And this can be as quiet as you guys make it, or it can be as loud as you make it. It is 100% on the technique, getting that down, and then just getting comfortable with it, knowing your equipment, doing a few things here and there. You can help silence your equipment. But yeah, it's all kind of, that's the nice thing about saddle hunting. It's so customized to your preferences, I guess. So yeah, stiff toes to the tree. Go ahead, make that climb. Okay, 2 moves. 1 more and I'm up pretty damn far. I'll do 1 more move, just kind of for the hell of it. Now, with this repelling line, I usually like to have this thing set a little ways above my head. That's just kind of preference. Yeah, so I can hunt off this, or I can increase my bridge. That's typically where I would use my lineman's belt to hold me to that tree while I loosen this up. Let some more slack out there, but I'm not gonna today. One other thing that's super handy is I'll take just this nylon coated wire stuff. Not sure what the technical name is. Get it at Harbor Freight for dirt cheap. I usually just kind of put something in there, just that way if you let some slack on it, that line stays tight right up there. You don't have that falling through. But one other thing I do, just as a backup, I know I didn't seem too safe by climbing without a lineman's belt and all that jazz, but I do a few things safe, especially with this thinner line. And then if anything fails right there at the pencil, that'll help grab it and keep line from flying through and me from shooting down to the ground. I guess at this point, depending if I'm on public land or private land, it determines how I do this next step. If I'm on private land, I'll screw in a mini bow hanger right here. I just like it keeping it close to the tree. I didn't really like the straps too much. This keeps my bow out a little bit easier to grab. But if I'm on public land, which I am for this video, then we go ahead and use one of these. This is a gear hanger that I can hang my bag, typically put on the other side of the tree, just like that. I know you probably can't see me from that bottom camera, so we'll be relying on GoPro for all this. But yeah, so that's how I would keep my bag and my bow and calls. There's like 6 different hooks on there, so you can kind of organize it up here pretty well. I've had it to where on Sundays I've came down here and on my private land and put a hook in a tree with a phone holder on it and had Sunday afternoon football playing in the tree stand on silent and watching that a little bit while you hunt. Try and keep watching for deer though too. It is important. So then, yeah, so you have your hunt here. As I was saying, you can see with this little tree right here, your ability to go around the tree is so much better when you're on a smaller tree versus a bigger tree. Also, climbing up with one stick, 100 times easier on a tree that's about the size of a volleyball, basketball, somewhere in that range. Also, plenty sturdy enough. I'm 250 pounds. No, I'm not. 230 pounds. I was 250 pounds last year while I was hunting out of this. 230 pounds, 6'2". So I'm a good sized guy for this. I'm not a rock climber. I'm not that body type. But yeah, this, I've never had it slip out. You can see it could probably use a little bit of a reset right there, but it'll be fine. It won't move anywhere. yeah, so now I guess I forgot to show you bringing up the bow. So here's my bow. We're just going to call this a stick and string bow because that's pretty much it's stick with no string. God, I'm stupid. Alright, hang my bow up, just kidding. Alright, bow's been hung. For all you people that wanted to see the process of hanging your bow and everything, that was me hanging my bow. I don't really think that benefits anyone for me to actually bring my bow out here and hang it up. You've seen the process. So I can do it this way. This is a mess right now. That should be, that's another thing for you to fidget in the tree. Also, you can get pretty good at learning how to grab stuff out of the tree with these hooks, like kind of like a lasso. I have dropped like gloves and stuff like that out of trees last year. I was able, I don't really know how I did it, but like sometimes I'm smart. Most of the time not really, but like I was able to like tie this around and keep that open somehow and able to hook onto some gloves. I don't really know. Every once in a while I really impress myself, but it's not typical, so no one get used to that. Yeah, so I go ahead and put that sucker right in there, right when I get up to the tree. That way it's there. The other end's connected right here to my saddle, and then I never have to worry about getting in a hurry, getting excited after I shoot a deer or something, and going back down the tree and forgetting to put this, to pull this rest of this rope down. Because you gotta have a way to retrieve your rope. So I just do that right then, and that way I don't forget it, and then it's done. So now I'll go through the repelling process. Get this stupid thing off there because that'll make it a headache to try and get out of this tree. The other thing, these patches are just the cheap ones off Amazon. But if you look at the back here, I have a whole bunch of milkweed that I can do. But yeah, they hold pretty much everything I need. They're nothing fancy. They're like $14 for 2 of them. So, big spender here. Before I get going on this, go ahead and take this prusik out, because I want to go down. And I like going fast. I'll keep it slow. Keep it slow and controlled for the video. Don't need kids getting bad habits. So, simply pull this, tend the slack line with the other hand. Not sure if I have the terminology right. I should know this. And then swing in. So I've already lowered my bow. Usually I lower my bow with the slack end of this rope. Just that way that's down and I don't have to worry about it. And then I still have this bow rope tending to that. And it's still hooked to me. So then I just take this one stick back behind me, clip it into that carabiner that's on that prusik knot. As you can see, now I got nothing on the tree. It's just me. Just chilling. It's super comfortable, guys, and like I don't even have the leg straps tight. And I'm freaking inverted. Another one of those things, not manufacturer recommended without a shoulder strap harness kit, but they're very safe, they're very secure, and you can definitely trust your life in them. So we'll go ahead and enjoy the rappel down. Just like that, I am on the ground. Don't rappel into vines. It tends to be a headache and a half. So once I'm down here, open up this, take the gree off, put that back in my pocket. Typically, another thing I always recommend, that I always do, is watch all my rope as I'm coming down. Make sure your rope's organized at all times. This is a bad example of it. As you can tell, it's kind of a freaking mess right now. But yeah, so then to pull it down, I just kind of work both ends. Put on a nice tight bark like that. It's usually about how easy it is to come down. I like when things work right for the video. That always makes it a little bit easier. And then it's just a matter of packing your ropes back up and getting the heck out of there as quiet as possible. And you've went and hunted and hopefully killed a nice deer. The most comfortable way possible. Honestly, the safest way possible. Can't really argue that. I've never hunted as safe as I have when I was in a climber stand. I had a climber stand for 10 years that I hunted out of. I never really hunt out of hang-ons. But yeah, with a climber stand, there were so many times I didn't wear a safety harness or I did stuff like that. And it's in some sketchy situations where ever since in the saddle, I've been 100 times more comfortable, and I've never been disconnected from the tree after I've been up that initial 6 foot. That first 6 foot, like I said, not recommended, but I do it. So here's how I do it. Only do it if that's what you're willing to risk. I'm willing to risk a 6 foot fall. Me, I don't think it'll happen, but if it does, I guess I'll just get back up and continue up the tree and be pissed off at myself. I'm gonna go ahead and put this crap away, but thanks for watching. Like this video, subscribe, comment, talk trash to me, whatever. I don't care. That's how I do it. You guys learned something, that's cool. You thought I was doing it all wrong, also cool. Just remember, there's a billion ways to skin a cat. Everyone has their own way. If you learned something from this, that's awesome. But if not, go on about your day, enjoy the way you do it, because at the end of the day, if you're comfortable doing it, that's the best way you should be doing it. So, thanks guys for watching, and everyone have a nice day and shoot 'em off.